Welcome to another episode. Today I have the pleasure to bring you a special guest, Mr. Diego Silva, who I brought on the show today because not only is a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, but also has a lot of great insight into what it takes to become a top-level athlete. Now, since I can't remember all of his accolades, all of his accomplishments, I'm going to go ahead and read some of those just for those people that are interested in to see exactly what he's accomplished. This guy is in 2021. Well, he's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and he is a 2021 IBJJF Pan No Gi and Gi champion for brown belt. 2021 IBJF World No Gi, so that's Pan, and then the World No Gi and Gi champion for his division in brown belt. And then even before then, it says multiple IBJJF Open champ. So meaning that this guy is really good at what he does. So hopefully you guys enjoy the interview as much as I do. I will go ahead and also encourage you guys to please like the video, comment below if you guys have any questions. I know that he's going to be watching the interview afterwards, so if you have any questions for him or for myself, feel free to leave them below, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and get it started. Hi, Diego.
Hey, Ab, how are you?
Doing?
Good. Thank you for welcome here.
Yes, sir. I would appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to do an interview with me so that our audience can learn from you and from your journey that you're having. It sounds like, from what I can tell, it's a fantastic journey. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, we always look forward to for new challenges and new things, right? We are always willing to gain more, to win more. But so far, I can tell that was a good journey. I cannot complain for sure.
Awesome. So as I mentioned during the intro of the video, I introduced you, a jiu-jitsu practitioner. You've been champion in different levels, and I could see you have some of your medals in the back, which I'm sure they each have their own unique story. Yeah. But let me hear it from your words. Let me hear it from you. Who is Diego Silva?
Yeah, well, I'm married. I have two kids. And I work in IT area with technology. So, and why I'm saying that, because besides those things, I love practicing jiu-jitsu. Okay, so I have been doing jiu-jitsu for 14 years, and I decided to do it more seriously for the last, I would say, 5 years when I got my brown belt. And since then, I started, training hard and started competing to test myself, and then eventually I become an athlete, So I do everything that a professional athlete does. So yes.
That's awesome, man, and I'm glad that you mentioned that you started with that, with mentioning your friend or your family, I would say, because you mentioned that you're married. Which is probably more important, right, to you in your life. That's good. The reason I mentioned that, Diego, is because our podcast, our show, is based on we try to bring in guests. And we're going to be bringing in more guests that not only have one aspect of their life going for them, like you have your health, you're an athlete, you're practicing a sport, and you're excelling at it, but also you're married, you have a family life. I met you just about a year ago. I think it's been about a year now, and I've been also going to jiu-jitsu, and it's been fun. But I also noticed, you're a successful guy in your own in your finances, right? You have a good job in IT, so you're excelling and you're happy. You're absolutely one of those people that I would say you always have a nice smile on your face. Right?
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. I feel happy that I can inspire just a little bit people, you know. Just yesterday, a friend of mine comes to me after the jiu-jitsu training, and that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, right? We make a lot of friends for life. And one of them come to me, it was funny because, hey, Diego, can I ask you a personal question? I said, of course. Uh, how can you handle your life with jiu-jitsu? And I see that you're very happy with your wife and your kids. And I said, man, that is a long story. Passion, God, for sure, first thing, and passion and planning, you know, talk, communicate with them what is important for you versus what is important for them. And if you want, you know, to do things and you have the communication, healthy communication, everything will work out well. So, and I share a few things with him, but well, that's makes me feel very very happy that I can inspire somehow a little bit people. You know, that's great. Just for that would be a successful journey.
Right, I think there's a lot to learn from you. I mean, I have some questions myself, and that question that guy, I don't know who it was, but it actually reminds me about a question I'll be asking you a little bit later. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to ask you about how to keep that balance in life. But I do have the question, you know, talking about inspiration, right? You say, you know, you're happy to inspire people when you do. What inspired you to actually start martial arts from the beginning? At the beginning, what's your story?
Yeah. Well, I born in a very I'm from Brazil, so and sorry people for my English. I'm from Brazil, and I came from a very poor neighborhood there, and a lot of street fights and things like that, you know. And my mom used to work, my dad used to work too, and I stayed with my grandma. And I stay at the street all the time, you know. Went to school, go back, go to street. And the first thing that I started thinking is because I started seeing a lot of street fights in the street. So I thought myself, hey, I gotta be careful. I must be ready if something happened to me like that. So uh, and then that was until 15, and then I started training capoeira. Capoeira
Capoeira.
is a kind of dance, but also martial arts, but also a game. You know, is a Brazilian. It's considered part of Brazilian culture. So I trained capoeira for 4 years or so. Yeah, and then after 15, I started working, and then another phase of my life related to martial arts started. And when I started working, I felt very lack of confidence, you know. So I was not sure if I was able to handle some work, and sometimes afraid to speak in public and things like that. And then I heard that jiu-jitsu would help people with those confidence. And then I
Mm.
started because of that, man. And since then, that has been helping me a lot. You know, proof of that is that I'm here with you. So
It's interesting that you mentioned that. I mean, just talking about that confidence aspect of it, because I found confidence through that. You hear that. I'm not sure exactly how it develops that, but it does develop confidence. And, you know, I would have to. You're not the first person that says that, but I'm glad it helps you with the public speaking and stuff. I know that's like the number one. They say that public speaking is like the number one most feared thing that we have as humans, even more fearful to that than to death.
yeah,
That people fear
yeah.
that more.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm not on that level, but I have a friend that he almost, you know, uh, pass out, thinking that he
Mm.
needs to speak in public. But the thing about jiu-jitsu was to help on that idea is that in jiu-jitsu you couple of times you face yourself, you see yourself in a situation that you need to breathe and think about possibilities. And before that, and the day after that one, you will. be afraid, man. If that happens again, so, and what is the worst case scenario? Am I going to die? No, because I can tap. Am I going to, so and that helps you to prepare yourself for life. So what's going to happen if I speak public, if I have not a perfect interview? Well, at least I'm going to learn from that. What's going to happen if I teach something and was not the best teacher? I'm going to learn something from there. So it's all related, and that helped me to improve my confidence. So yeah, that's how I would say that is linked.
I see what you're saying. I mean, in connection to that, I know that a lot of parents look into martial arts to build that confidence, to build that discipline for kids. I mean, is there a certain age that is too young for kids to learn martial arts, from your opinion?
Yeah, well, you're gonna find gyms that can teach since 3. Usually I see kids starting 5 years old is a good, I would say, is a good age, because you can play with them, but at the same time you can teach something, and they will try to follow your instructions somehow. But for kids, the best thing is to play with them and introduce that on their life. And for sure, nowadays we are in a very difficult situation with a lot of bullying and things like that, right? So for sure, that's going to help kids, because this is what it's about, right? Kids go to the school and he's afraid of his friend, and he's afraid to talk to that other kid. And when you know that you have a little bit of self defense, you're good. Hey man, I can talk to you, no problem. So, and then eventually he can realize, oh, that person is cool. I want to be her friend. So yeah, but I would say 5 years old, I think, is a good age.
I see. Yeah, I mean, because so you hear about, I kind of dealt with that when I started, doing different martial arts when I was younger, and it does give you that ability to not be so fearful, and then also you don't have to prove yourself, but you just kind of like, hey, you're a little bit more relaxed. If anything, I have a lot of people that are practicing jiu-jitsu, different martial arts. I find them to be some of the most relaxed people, because they're not out there huffing and puffing like, hey, I got to prove myself to the world, like I can beat you up, this and that, and it helps you also be confident if you can handle yourself in those situations. That's why I'm back to that's, so you can go try jiu-jitsu, and I've been loving it so far. So I'm glad you mentioned that for the kids.
Yeah. And my son, for example, until he was 9, he was always afraid to, boys, they like to play like, fighting, playing like that, touching. I saw that he was afraid to have those kind of playing with those boys that used to do that. And that jiu-jitsu helped him a lot, because the contact, the contact that he had in jiu-jitsu helped me to understand that he's not gonna broken, so he can play on that way without problem. So, and again, the confidence that, okay, I can play. If that becomes a little bit more serious, I'm ready for that, even though it's not our main goal, right? So,
so talking about confidence, and you mentioned earlier that you took your jiu-jitsu game to a higher level once you turned brown belt. How did that actually, what gave you the confidence to be like, hey, I want to actually take this more serious, take it to the next level, start competing? At what stage did you start competing, and what do you think is the biggest driver for you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't competing a lot before brown belt. I think I competed like 3 times or 4 times maximum. So. But when I came to US, and when I saw that all those competitions that I used to hear, like Worlds and Pan Am's, and I was not able to come because I would need to, pay my tickets and hotels, very expensive to go from Brazil. But here I start thinking, hey, I'm here in US, so even though it's not in Dallas, I'm based in Dallas, so I can. It's not that expensive, so maybe I can try and compete. Let me see. But when I'm a very competitive person. When I went for my first competition and I lost, and I said, man, I need to train more. And that one clicks on my mind. Hey man, if I train, I think I can achieve. And then I started training and went to the next competition. I lost again and went to the next competition. Then I got second, and then I went to the next competition. And I felt like, okay, even though I was losing, I was improving at the same time, and I was learning with my mistakes. And then I said, man, I think I can do it. I think I can. And then I set a goal. I want to be world champion. Crazy, like. I remember that goal was 1 year before the competition. So I started preparing myself 1 year before the competition. So and was it, after I started, preparing myself, and I felt that I was feeling good. Then when the click happens on my mind, so.
What do you think? What was it? What do you think makes you an elite athlete? Like to actually get to win a competition like that? Because this is people from all across the nation, right? All across the world competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament. What makes you the elite athlete?
Yeah, well, man, believe it or not, I would like to be an example to my kids. I would like to, because when I set that goal on my mind, about the world champ, I talked about that with my wife and with my kids. And I said, hey, I would need your support, because the time I would be with you, watching a movie or playing a little bit with the kids or doing something, I may need to train. And it's good, your question, because the main reason was to be an example to them. An example that if you train hard for something, doesn't matter if world champion, jiu-jitsu or anything, if you really want that and you prepare yourself and you put as a goal and you prepare yourself, you're going to be able to achieve. So basically, I would say that's the main reason, believe it or not. And of course, the self-achievement feeling is great as well. When you finish that, I said, man, it's so emotional. But I would say that the main reason I would like to be an example to my kids, show to my kids that everything they want is possible. Even if I started very late, it's still possible. There is no limit.
Got it. So if I'm getting this right, you're saying that you had a why. You wanted to act. You had a mission of actually I want to be a good example, and then also set the vision and then work for it and communicate to the people that are around you that this is what you want to do for yourself and that you want them to be part of it. Is that about right?
Yeah, exactly. And show them that it's possible if you really want something, it's possible. If you work hard, it is going to happen for sure.
It sounds like you made sacrifices.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of sacrifices for sure. Change everything. For example, now the way you eat, the things that you like to drink. So I like beer, of course, but I needed to stop doing all those things. Sometimes a group of friends, hey Diego, we are gonna do a barbecue here, and but the following day I would need to compete, so I decided not to go. And the good thing about that is that we feel complete with we here, our family feel complete if we are together, and was not a big challenge for me, rejecting some invitations from friends to go to a barbecue, because at the same time we were able, okay, let's go and watch a movie and, rest a little bit. But yeah, man, you need to sacrifice a lot and change a lot of things, and even rest. People, hey, neglect resting. For you to have a good level in competition in jiu-jitsu. So rest is one of the most important thing for a guy, for a person that wants to compete in high level. So.
I see.
It's all those things, and of course you need to work your body, your mindset, and rest. So,
talking about the physical, the mindset, and I mean, those sound like you had physical demands that you placed on your body, and talking about balance, also bringing in balance of life to your health and everything. How do you keep up with that, other than just eating and sleeping? I mean, you're right. A lot of people neglect their sleep. They sleep, 5 hours, 6 hours. They have to work in the morning, this, and that. They like to stay up late. I'm guilty of that sometimes myself. What do you suggest? I mean, what are your biggest tips to keep organized, or keep everything in order for your health?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is I check my hormones level. This is a very important thing for men over 30, which is my case, right? So I need to check if I need to do TRT or something like that. It's very important, and people neglect that. Sometimes we have very low testosterone, and I'm not talking about put a lot of crazy things in your body, but do with a doctor in the correct way. And if you don't eat, perfect. Okay. So after that, you need to eat well. So avoid junk food, and rest. And when I say rest, you need to measure that somehow. So I use WOP, to measure my sleep quality, and to be sure, okay, the following day, the next day, based on the result of my sleep, I'm gonna push hard a little bit my body, or no, to maybe now it's time to not to push so hard. I need to take it easy because I got hurt as well. So we gotta be careful with that and as well. And the physical part, for the people that has the possibility of that, I would say that in my case, when I got a personal trainer, made a huge difference on my physical part, because when you have a professional dictating the things that you need to do, you as athlete, you just need to follow, and like our master, our professor, so follow the recommendations. The only thing you need to do is follow that, so, but yeah, those are the things that I would say that people should take a special attention.
Got it. I like that. I mean, you're measuring your sleep, you're measuring your health, like how are you doing with your testosterone. There's a quote, I think, by Jack Welch. He says, what gets measured gets managed. So it's like you're managing that, right? You're managing even your physical training by going to just kind of deep diving into that. I've always wondered, I mean, what's your routine, your weekly routine? I'm sure you're measuring everything that you do. Like what starting Monday throughout the whole weekend.
I try to. And what you said is good. I like that because I work with quality a little bit as well. And in quality, it says that what you cannot measure, you cannot improve. For sure. So measure is very important. It's tricky. It's key for you to improve something. So yeah, let me tell you my daily routine. So I wake up every day by 6 a.m. and then I took my daughter to to school, and then I go to the gym and focus on my physical part. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I take the day off for the physical part, and Thursday and Friday. Okay, so I do that for 4 days a week. Okay,
That's
and
for
then I
half an
go.
hour? Would you say half an hour, an hour?
It
What do you do during
depends.
those morning
It
sessions?
depends, no, because the beauty of having a professional dictating, with some orientation is that I share my calendar with him, and based on my calendar, he's gonna change the type of training that I'm gonna do. It's not like, okay, Monday is the chest, training. Tuesday is my leg training. It's not like that. He changes all the time. What I need to do is just follow the file that he sent to me every Friday. So it depends. There are days that I need to like an hour. There are days that is just 30 minutes. People used to think, hey man, probably this guy go to the gym and put a lot of weight and go like crazy. No, that's not true. So we don't need that. So my personal training says hard training, hard fight. Smart training, easy fight. So you gotta be smart with your training. Training hard does sometimes less is more. So doesn't mean that you need to kill yourself on the gym. So it depends. Like between 30 to an hour.
So that's in the mornings, and then what happens after that?
Yeah, that's the morning. Then 9 a.m. I need to be ready here to work on my IT area work. Okay, when I have important competition, okay, I go to during my lunchtime, 1 or 2 a week. I go to the gym to train jiu-jitsu. Okay, during my lunchtime. Okay, and every day like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday I go to the gym Monday to Friday at night, and Saturday our open mat that we have. So it's more or less my routine, and then I go back and I need to stay a little bit with my family, right? I need to talk to them, and sometimes when I'm training for those type of competition, it's hard to keep it up because we are very tired at time. So, no energy. So it's hard, but we need to try. It's part of the agreement that I made with my family, with my wife and my son and my daughter. So,
yeah.
But I'm lucky because now I have my daughter training with me. So with her, I have more time with her. Sometimes my son goes with me, so I would say I'm lucky. But that's my daily routine.
But got it. I mean, I really don't know how you do it because, going into jiu-jitsu, myself, like for the past year, I don't think I've ever practiced any sport or done any physical activity that I just been like extremely sore like the next day. Really, honestly. In all of the like minor little injuries that you get, you're dealing with a knee, my shoulder, if it's something, I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, I think like once class is done and I tell her I wasn't injured, that's a good day. I'm being real.
That's true.
So I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah, but you know what? You learn how to deal with that. I think pain is part of my life now. Is like pain, like from 1 to 10. If the pain is like 5, I'm okay with that. After 5, then I need to be careful. I need to check for some medicine or maybe visit a doctor or something like that. But I learned that pain is part of your BJJ life, so you're gonna learn how to deal with that. And my back, man, hurts a lot, but is what I said at the beginning of the interview. If you have a goal, of course there are days that man, I would like to go to my coach here and watch a movie, and I don't want to train, for sure, for you. I think the majority of the days I don't want to train, If you train for competition, it's not fun. People must know that. It's not fun at all. So it's a different type of training. You're gonna kill yourself on training with the other guy. So, but we go because of the goal. We go because we have our goal to achieve that one. I want that title. I want to win that tournament. So that's why we go. And this is when you show to your family, to your kids, an example. Hey, man, you see, even though we don't want to do that, we must do because we have the goal, to achieve. So.
Got it. I mean, what do you do to keep up? You said you keep up with your supplements, right? Testosterone.
Yeah.
What else do you recommend for somebody that's like dealing with these pain issues and?
Yeah, I take. Let me show you. I have few things that I use here. This one is Zone, is from Asia's Mail. So this one helped me to. I take after my lunch time to keep working. This one helped me to keep focusing on my IT job. Okay, this one is for pump for me to for when I'm lifting weight. And when I need to lose some weight, I take that one to burn the calories and things like that. Yeah.
Got it.
So besides that, the other thing that I use is the BioPro. I just started. I just finished the first month. Amazing. That is a game changer because helped me to improve my. Remember that I measure everything.
Yes.
So I was able to see a huge improvement of my recovery with less hours of sleep. Was great.
Well, so I've seen the other ones. The BioPro. What is it exactly?
It's like there's a liquid inside, based by day. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are some components that helps you to improve your quality, your recovery, your sleeping. Yeah, so there are a few components there that help you. So, but you need to you're gonna start feeling that after the second week. This is when they said that I'm gonna start feeling that. I don't know if it was my mind, but after 2 weeks I started feeling and measuring in Whoop, and everything was better, after that. So.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of that because, or at least just taking things that your body needs, right? Because I could tell right away sometimes with my own like stack of like what I take, my proteins and so forth, like I recover faster the next day. I don't feel as, stiff or like I don't feel so like achy the next day when I actually take proper nutrition versus when I don't do those things. I'll feel it right away the next day. I'm just like I'm like sore or so. I'll have to definitely look into that. BioPro, is that what you said it was?
BioPro, yeah, BioPro. They have a Instagram as well where they can give you a lot of information about the product. So man, I tested, it works. And when you said about the food, for sure, we must have the protein and all those things because nowadays our food is not complete. Doesn't have all the vitamins that we need for our daily routine, especially for those that train like us, right? So we need even more of those vitamins. So it's very important to think about the nutrition part. So I used to take shakes as well in the morning. I forgot to say that. So I don't take a big breakfast, with a lot of calories. No, I just take a shake, and then after I will take my lunch time. But that's important, and I forgot to mention that the nutrition is very important.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what's in your morning shakes?
Yeah, I use Herbalife, man.
Herbalife?
I use Herbalife because it's complete. I made a research about that, and I found that the most complete shake in the world that has everything that your body needs is for Herbalife, man. People, I
Got
have friends that used to joke me, "Hey, man, Herbalife, this is for girls." That's not true, man.
it.
Yeah, it's the most completed one tested with humans. So then after I started taking that, I felt better. So I'm
Got
taking that.
it. Well, take
So
it from a
for
world
years.
champion, right? Well, so, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll look, I'll have to look into that. But I mean, I'm sure it has its. I have everybody has their own routine, right? But if you want to
Hmm.
perform like Diego Silva
Yeah,
does, take care of your the food that you're eating, the supplementations for the vitamins, measure your testosterone, to make sure that everything's in order for the physical
yeah,
demands of being an athlete like you.
yeah, for sure, sure. You must look for that, and like you said, follow the nutrition part is really, really important for sure.
So, Diego, let me ask you a couple more just practical questions. Some advice for somebody that's starting jujitsu. What advice do you have to like somebody just starting or looking to get into martial arts? Should they be getting into jujitsu? Should they be going into a different, karate, taekwondo, capoeira, anything? What do you suggest to somebody that's looking to start martial arts, and how do they advance in that?
Yeah, first thing, be patient. We are not going to learn from one day to the other. In jiu-jitsu, specifically, I would say that stay there for at least a year. So for you to know if you really like or not, you started, stay there for at least a year because before that it's too soon to say that you didn't like it and too soon to say, okay, I like it a lot, but why you stop, doing that? So, yeah, patience, be patient, because you're going to learn and train at least 3 times a week. In every single martial arts, I think at least 3 times a week. If you want to be good, I think is the minimum, minimum amount for you to improve and forget your self how can I say that? Like, don't feel bad when another person that is younger than you or younger, that's okay, but is lighter than you, smaller than you, kill you during the training.
Mm.
So jiu-jitsu is a great sport to teach you how to be humble. Because sometimes you're gonna feel okay, and we have phases. There are phases where we are killing everybody. We are, beating everybody. But there
Mm.
are other phases that we felt miserable because everybody are killing us. So you need to deal with that life cycle, that happens during your life. But definitely, the most important one, never give up. If you really want, if you really like, don't give up. Eventually, you're going to learn because I am a proof of that. When I started, my friend, I was terrible. When people, the masters teaches something, I was not able to execute well. I used to do everything wrong. So if you don't give up, you're going to learn eventually.
You were telling me now, mentioning that I'm sure you had your setbacks and hard times through that journey. You said you had off camera. You had mentioned something that you had a drastic change in the way you were previously to getting to jiu-jitsu, right? And I think you're said you're going to be you send me a picture of that example.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about that? When was that prior to jiu-jitsu, or was that prior to you becoming a brown belt?
Yeah, prior to jiu-jitsu, I would say. I mean, when I started jiu-jitsu, one of the reasons as well was to change that my lifestyle that I was having, and I was eating a lot of junk food. Not worrying too much with my weight and with the things that I was eating, and that there is a side effect of that. After you start gaining weight, you start changing your psychological part. You start feeling less energized and sad. Depression and things like that. And yeah, for sure. When I started jiu-jitsu and I started thinking, okay, now I need to change my lifestyle. I'm gonna change my. I'm gonna I'm gonna have a jiu-jitsu lifestyle. Then everything changed because then I started thinking positively, change my food, and then I had a drastic lose weight. I lose, I think, 45 pounds in 3 months. I think it's something around 19 kilos. I don't know, maybe 40 pounds or something like that.
Something like, it's the 2.2 is the conversion, I think.
Yeah, right? Something like that. So it was crazy because that happened drastic. In 3 months.
3 months?
Sorry? 3 months. And I remember when I saw, I was working home that day, and I went to the bathroom, and then when I was, cleaning my hand, and I looked to the mirror, and the guy that looked to me back, I got scared with that guy. I said, my goodness, I've become that man. And that day I decided, man, I need to change. I started jiu-jitsu. I will start, living that new lifestyle. And then at that day, I remember I started eating well. I talked to my wife, hey, now feel free to eat pizzas every day, but don't count on me. For
Got
that,
it.
So, and I changed everything then. And after 3 months, and I don't want to go back there ever anymore.
I don't
never.
blame him.
So.
Yeah, I mean, so let's tell us the truth. Do you still eat pizza or no?
Yeah, for sure. I used to say, if you have a good lifestyle, you are the one that can eat pizza. Sometimes, because you did your homework. But those that used to eat junk food every day, those cannot eat pizza, So sometimes I eat pizza. I like sandwich, So I try to. This is part of my agreement with my family, Try to be not very. Because I don't live for jiu-jitsu, that's my main income doesn't come from there. So we gotta be careful with that when we have a work-life balance. You know what I mean? So but we have like in our week we have around five times per day we eat something. So it's more or less 49, 45 times per week. So if you fail in 2, that's fine, But if you fail in 5, it's a big problem, So
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I never thought about it that way. Like how many meals per week you have. That's
yeah. So if you are planning, okay, let's say that my wife and we are planning to go to a special restaurant and to eat pizza. Friday, okay, I know that from Monday to until Friday, my lunchtime, I need to eat very well because I know that I'm gonna to escape during my to have that with my wife. So at night, so it's about planning,
Now you mentioned the work-life balance, and you mentioned that jiu-jitsu is part of your financials, right? You have a few sponsors. Now that I want to ask you, how did you get your first sponsor, and any advice to somebody that's looking to monetize this sport?
Yeah, for sure. I can share. Well, the first thing is that my first sponsor happened when I started seeing a company as texting me, they liking my photos and liking my stories in Instagram. And why they did that? Because they saw me doing that every single day. I used to say that your stories in Instagram, for example, must be like a movie that never ends. So you cannot permit like one day for people not to see anything new and the things that you post there takes like 24 hours, right? So you have 24 hours to post another thing, right? You
Wow.
cannot permit like the following day, and people is not going to show anything about you on there if for the followers, right? So the first thing is that you don't need to be a champion, like world champion. You don't need to be, elite athlete, anything like that. If you work very well in your Instagram, like posting, you need to think when you publish a photo, you need to ask yourself, am I going to like? Would would like that picture? Is good enough for that? If the answer is no, don't publish.
Got it.
So you need to think about that. And after a while, that's okay for you to ping a company. Hey, I'm looking for a sponsorship, or just for the material, or sometimes financially. So and then yeah, my first sponsorship happened like that. So a guy pinged me, hey Diego, we are looking for people over 30, Asia as male, right? Over 30, and would you be our? I can send you some products, and then you can use, and then would you share in your social media? And I said, yeah, for sure. And ask doesn't hurt, right? So, and then I ask, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I do have a situation because I compete a lot, right? And I need to pay those competitions. So, travel and other things. Is is that possible for us to come with a agreement to receive some financial help from that agreement? And then he said, well, I think so. Let me meet with my partners here, and then we can arrange a meeting. And then we did a meeting like that, like a video meeting, and I explained a little bit about how my daily routine and all those things. And then they offer some financial help for me to cover the costs with the tournaments and things like that.
Nice, nice. I mean, what did they ask for in exchange? For you to, like, post some other things? Like,
Yeah.
did you have like a, yeah.
In exchange, I need to post twice a week at least, my stories, or in publishing in Instagram. So twice a week at least. So that's fine. I do more than that for sure.
Right.
They were the first, so I have no problem to publish even more and share my results with the people of using the products. So.
Right. I mean, you have like, what was it, like 14, 15 and growing Instagram, 14,000, something like that? So how many?
Yeah, over. I need to check. I think it's 15 right now, and
So that's quite a bit. I
16,
mean,
16 now.
16,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
16 now.
So yeah, you're definitely you can call yourself an influencer. I mean, you're not in the millions, but I mean, I like that strategy. I've never heard anybody talk about strategy. I've been to marketing, like my main profession. So that's a new take on actually kind of seeing your story or your Instagram as a movie.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
yes,
I love
that's the
that.
thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. And of course, don't be shy to use hashtags. Every and in stories, for example, I use a lot of hashtags, and I hide that. So because we do have a lot of people following hashtags, and then eventually they are gonna,
Mm,
because they are following the hashtag, they're gonna find you, and they are gonna take a look on your profile. If that is well constructed, is good, beauty, so they are gonna start following you. So this is very important as well.
that's a good point for sure. There's a few hashtags I'm sure people follow. I know I do.
Yeah,
And I have my specific ones and those show up in your feed as well. So,
yeah,
so one more, maybe one or two more questions. I know you're busy. Let
that's
me ask
fine.
you about what's going on, what's new, what's next for Diego Silva. The next, what's going on? What's the most exciting thing you're working on? Would be one of the questions.
Well, when I finished my year last year, I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu finally after 14 years. For you to see how if you don't give up, that's gonna happen. After 14 years, I got my black belt. We have people that after 7 years they got the black belt in jiu-jitsu, but it took me double, But that's fine. I'm not competing about who takes the black belt first, So
Right.
it's myself against myself. So now for me was a year of learning. So I compete a little bit this year, not as last year, but I'm learning, how it is. So I'm planning that next year is gonna be a good year, for me as a black belt. My main goal now is to achieve exactly the same results that I have here as brown belt, but now as black belt. And I know that I need to work hard. So if I did that once, I can do twice, So it doesn't matter the color of the belt. But also, I want to be a black belt in life as well, So stay with my family, stay with my friends, and my job here, deliver good results. If you organize everything, I think it's possible. So that's the plan for for the next year, and for this year as well. I still have like one or two competitions coming. So
Got it. Well, congratulations on your black belt. I can't wait to
thank you,
see
man.
your next tournament, and hopefully I'll be there. I know that there's several tournaments, and I'm also looking forward to competing. I just started my journey in jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting to be at that stage and on the mats, and it's a different. It's not just like your standard rolling. People are going 110% out there, and it's a different beast.
Yeah, it is, man, and different challenges. And I recommend you to compete. Go for it because when you're competing, you're gonna learn a lot about yourself. Sometimes we feel, okay, if that happens to me, I'm gonna act on that way. If that happened to me, that I'm gonna act on this way. I would do that. I would do, this. That's not true. You know yourself when you are on that position. When that situation happened, you never know how you would act. And competing is a amazing opportunity for you to see and know yourself a little bit better. I realize a lot of things. For example, I discovered that I freeze when I have a big, huge challenge on my face. And then I learn, on the tournaments that I need to breathe and I need to find ways, remember the movements that I know, remember that I was already on that position during my trainings, remember all those things, So I think that's the beauty of the competition. You know yourself a little bit more, every day.
Nice, man. I love that. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's gonna
Diego,
help you.
where can people find you? I mean, tell us if I'm sure you definitely will love the gym that you train at, which is the gym that I train at. Where can
Yeah.
people find you, and then also not just physically but also digitally?
Yeah, yeah. Please come and train with us. We have two gyms, one in Richardson and one in Irving. Maybe Abe can put the address after.
Sure.
I would be more than glad. There are few things that I love in this life than helping people. I love. I burn for that. So count on me. You can find me in Diego Silva JJ Jiu-Jitsu, Diego Silva JJ in Instagram. I have my email address, Diego as Frank Silva @live.com. Feel free to send an email. We can, talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu, about life. So, and like I said, I'm here to help. I'm here to, serve, to offer. So count on me for sure.
Oh, thank you for that welcome. It's very welcoming of you to offer that.
Sure. Sure, man.
Well, My friend, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. I will definitely cherish this. I'll go ahead and mention all of those links at the bottom for the audience to visit our gym and then also visit you on your Instagram page. Anything you want to end with? I think it's been great
No,
so far.
perfect. Just congratulate you for the amazing job that you started with this podcast. I feel very honored to be part of that. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and count on me anytime you want. I'm more than happy to share my journey, my history.
Thank you, Diego. I'll see you on the next roll.
Yeah. Maybe today.
I hope you all enjoyed the interview today with Diego. There's a lot of stuff that I learned myself, and hopefully you also learned as well. Again, what I've learned is, of course, the nutritional aspect, but also how to keep a balanced life, and then also to bring your family and your support system, the people that you're around with, into alignment with what you're doing, and then also being able to create a goal and actually going after that with their support. Opening up those lines of communication with them, and then also, in addition to that, of course, taking the right supplementation was another one. Of course, most of us, a lot of people, maybe not everybody, do take supplements, vitamins, multivitamins, protein, pre-workouts, TRT, these different things to compound. Again, we mentioned these things in the podcast, but again, if you're going to take anything, please consult with your doctor, do your own research, because a lot of these things, just because they're working for him or certain things work for me, doesn't mean they're actually going to work for you. So you have to actually listen to your body and actually kind of take a more of an approach of, hey, is this really what my body is going to take to actually make me recover faster? Is this really my requirements, or am I spending more money on different supplements that I may not need? So I do encourage you guys to do that. But if anything, I'm glad that you're able to explore those things with us. And then also, if you're out there practicing jiu-jitsu like I am and he is, and you're dealing with certain things, hopefully this also brings you a little bit more information about how to actually stay mentally prepared, and then also understand that your body also requires not only the supplementation but also the rest that it needs. That's something that I learned throughout the interview, is like, hey, like, sleep is priority. We hear that all the time, but take it from him, world-class athlete. Other than that, please leave in the comments also if there's a certain type of material that you're looking to actually get from the show. If you want me to interview anybody, or if you want to be interviewed, leave a comment below. I'll reach out to you, see if we're a good fit. Again, our show focuses on love, health, wealth, and happiness. And that does it for today. We'll see you on the next one.